in the late 90s, there was a family from Montana who came and stayed at the Ronald McDonald House when their son was diagnosed with cancer. And as you may know, Seattle Children's is a whammy hospital, which means that it serves families from Washington, Alaska, Montana, and Idaho. It's the major children's hospital for those families. And so here they come from the Montana zone, and they might as well have been in Montana. They were surrounded by friends who took them out for dinner and played with their son and gave them all kinds of attention. Well, there was a certain point in time when these parents looked around at the other families at the Ronald McDonald House, and they saw that they didn't have that. They were kind of fish out of water, especially families from rural areas, families that didn't speak English. They had nobody, and here they were doing the hardest thing of their lives. And so this family approached University Presbyterian and said, "We have an idea for you. Here's all this going on within a mile of your church. What would you think about creating something for these families?" And that's how Side by Side started. Our mission is laughter, rest, and togetherness for families who have a child with serious illness. And we do that in some different ways. Our most visible way is we put on a camp in the summer called Camp Side by Side, which lasts a week, and it's free to families who have a child with cancer or up to a few years post-treatment. And that's a place where families just get to have a regular summer camp experience. It's free to them. Volunteers pay to go there, and every child, sibling or patient, gets their own buddy for the week and has a great time, and parents get to relax, sometimes for the first time in years. So there's Camp Side by Side. We do a mini version of that in the wintertime called Winter Weekend. We do that one on Bainbridge Island at Islandwood. And then we have a couple other things that are ongoing throughout the year at the Ronald McDonald House, which the one in Seattle is the third biggest in the country. That really speaks to this whole whammy concept that a lot of families are traveling from far away to relocate for treatment, and that they're going to be here, many of them, for months and months. And so we train volunteers. We put them in pairs, we screen them, of course, we support them, and we send them out to be kind of fun havers, fun givers with these kids, and providing it's not babysitting, it's usually just one play date a week, but giving these kids, whether it's a 3-year-old or a 16-year-old, something to look forward to every week and a chance to feel like they're known, especially apart from these medical circumstances, to remember who they are. That's family support. It's underneath everything. Our tagline is "We're with you," and we have experienced the truth of Jesus stepping toward broken people, Jesus stepping toward hurting people. And having experienced that, we want to see God in action with more broken people. We don't pretend that we're bringing God. Instead, we want to go and we want to see. And Side by Side is a front row seat to seeing God caring for hurting people, whether it's through a nurse or a social worker, oncologist, a staff person at the Ronald McDonald House, or of course through one of our volunteers. So that's one truth about us, is we're followers of Jesus, and we understand that he moves towards hurting people. But the other truth is that we don't talk about it. We want to be safe, and we want to have integrity. When we say that we're for everybody, we want that to be true. Our volunteers are people of faith, but they express it solely through actions, not through words. They don't have an agenda. And that's part of, I think, being a people of faith, and understanding a little bit about brokenness, is that you're not panicky about people. You're not in a rush with people. You're just you understand simply that the ministry of presence is more than enough, and that anything worthwhile that happens in people's lives is something that God does. It's not something that we engineer. I'll start maybe with just the neighborhood. I've lived in the neighborhood near the Ronald McDonald House and Children's for many years, and there's something about driving by and knowing that something happens there, knowing that people are hurting there, and really having no idea how to help or what to do. And if any ideas I would have were usually bad ideas, like I could bake cookies, and drop them off. Well, that's not really going to help anybody in a big way, in a way that's life-changing. So I think Side by Side is a way for many, many people, hundreds and hundreds of people, to have access to these places where hurt exists and where healing happens, all sorts of healing. You sign up to be a volunteer at Sale Children's and wear the blue coat. You do often get a chance to interact with children, but you don't get to form a relationship. It's set up on purpose and very wisely that you don't form a relationship, and we're just the opposite. Our strong point is relationship. And so I'm trying to get back to the question, how have we impacted the community? We've impacted the community by being a way for people to form a relationship. And Side by Side, through our donors and through the people that show up and get their car washed by us in June, all those things, there are hundreds, now thousands of people that feel like they have some skin in the game with some sort of hope happening on some sort of level, whether it's the big picture of pediatric cancer or the small picture of knowing that they paid for some kid and was volunteering to go to Dick's on a Thursday. So I'd say access to that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.